Applications for square roots. Let's look at a couple of examples. We have a square here that has an area of 900 square feet. We know that the area of a square is side squared. We used that formula before, but now we know the answer. The area is 900. Remember that the opposite of squaring is square rooting. So since we want to know what side square is, to find it, we need to take the square root of 900. When we're trying to solve an equation, we need to do the opposite. The opposite of squared is square rooting. So I need the square root of 900 in order to find how long the side is. So now I'm going to go to my calculator, put in the 900, and hit square root, and find out that the answer is 30 feet. Each side of this square would be 30 feet each. 30 times 30 gives me 900. So when we find the side, we needed to do square root, the opposite of squaring. Let's look at our circle. Our formula for the area of a circle is pi r squared. We know what pi is. We know what the area is. We need to find what the radius is. The area is 78.5. We're using pi as 3.14. And we're going to multiply that by the radius squared. Now remember I said if we're solving an equation, we have to do the opposite. 3.14 times r squared equals this. The opposite of times is divide. Think of a similar problem. If I had said to you 2 times some number equals 6, you would have told me 3 because 2 divides into 6 3 times. I'm thinking that same way. I'm going to have to divide by 314. So to show that, I'm dividing by 314. And whatever I do to one side, I'm going to do to the other side. When I do that, these cancel out. And now I'm going to use my calculator. 78.5 divided by 3.14 gives me 25. So this is 25, and that equals, since 3.14 over 3.14 is 1, I'm just left with 1 times r squared, which is r squared. The opposite of squaring is square rooting. So I'm going to take the square root of 25, which I have that one memorized, so I'm not going to use the calculator. And the square root of 25 is 5. Since our answer is 5 and our area was in square feet, we can write 5 feet for our radius. Now to check our work, remember that our formula was pi times r squared. R is now 5 feet. So I'm going to take this number and put it back into the formula. Remember that area equals pi, which is 3.14, times r squared. And our r is now 5. So we know, because we have it memorized, that 5 squared is 25. 3.14 times 25. Going to my calculator, 3.14 times 25 gives me 78.5. And if I compare that with my original area, I can see I've checked my work and I have the right answer.
We just saw a building whose area was 103,000 square feet. But what is the size of that building? It's hard for me to imagine the size of that building. But what we can do is get an approximation by making this area a square first. So the area of a square equals side squared. So all we have to do now to find the side of that square, so we'll put the 103,000 into the calculator. 103. And all we have to do is press the square root key. And the number is 320.936. So we'll just round that to 321. So if we imagine that building as a square, that's 321 feet and 321 feet. Now we have a little idea of that building as a square. Now we can make that building a rectangle. All we have to do then is divide this square in half. And now we can make the building twice as big. This is one half of the building. This is the other half. And now we have 1/2 of 321 is 160.5 feet. And 321 plus 321 is 642 feet. Now we get a little idea of a rectangular building. 160 feet approximately by 642 feet. And let's just plug in the numbers, see if we get close to this number. Since we round it, we will not get exactly 103,000, but we'll get very close. Clear the calculator. 642 times 160.5 equals, as you can see, it's 103,041 square feet. So we can, by using the formula of area equals side square, and we get some kind of an area, whatever that area is, and we find it square feet, square yards, or whatever it is, we can get an approximation of the property or the building what we're looking at.
Please pause the video now and complete the problems in your workbook. When finished, press play, and we'll continue with the next lesson.